On today's show,
we debate who's more deserving of an all-star starting spot, Kawhi Leonard or Draymond Green.
in Worst of the Week, there are some obvious candidates, but also a worthy dark horse.
And the king rules the court in this week's Top 10 Plays.
It's Friday, January 15th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're watching us on NBA TV live or joining us a little bit later on YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
I was going to raise the roof, but I probably have some sweaty armpits already.
To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, unfortunately not wearing a turtleneck today.
Oh,
it's
no.
Starters blogger Trey Kirby.
Hey!
Yo! TK, what's poppin'?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And guys, the Detroit Pistons released another Andre Drummond All-Star video, and well, y'all gotta peep it.
No wheels and no keys, no boat, no snowmobiles, and no skis. Mad at me, because I can finally afford to provide my family with groceries. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes up when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and mother suckers act like they forgot about Ray. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes up when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and mother suckers act like they forgot about Ray.
Not bad for a song from 1999, you know, back when Dr. Dre still made music and not just headphones. Anyways, it brings us to today's question. What's the next rap song that the Pistons and Barack Obama should Drummondize next? Let us know at #TheStarters, and we'll see your best answers a bit later.
They are going all out, the Pistons
Doing a
are.
great job.
Did it again.
I'll retweet it every time.
And we got a race
They're
there
hot.
between Melo and Drummond as we
Yeah.
head into the last weekends here to figure out who will be the all-star starters. All right, we got a fun show tonight. We got Worst of the Week, we got the Top 10 Plays of the Week, but we're gonna start with a little What You Got. It's very simple if you're new to the show. Trey presents us with related topics, and we here have to determine the better choice. We ask you to do the same at home. The catch, of course, there is only one right answer, according to Trey Kirby. So Trey, what's our first one?
First topic, as of the latest returns, Draymond Green holds a slim lead over Kawhi Leonard for the final starting spot in the West front court, and this is a pretty close race. Need you guys to tell me who you think is the more deserving starter, Kawhi Leonard or Draymond Green? What you got?
Draymond Green deserves to be a reserve, but as for the starting spot, I believe in Kawhi. He is so fantastic this year. Look at those guys head to head. Usually Draymond Green has a defensive advantage over someone, but not over Kawhi.
No.
Does he have an offensive advantage
No,
over
no.
someone, over Kawhi Leonard? Absolutely not. So it's difficult to say that Draymond Green should be in over Kawhi, and that's saying something, because Green is having a fantastic year, but he's also not the best player on his team. He also has Steph starting, so I'm going to give the starting spot to Kawhi Leonard, and it just feels right to have a starting guy from the Spurs as well as the Warriors in that Western
And Steph
Conference.
Curry, yeah.
It just feels right.
You
The
agree?
correct answer is actually both of them should be starting. They're
Oh, is that a shot at Kobe
No,
fans?
it's not a shot at Kobe fans
It
at all.
sure
It
is.
sounded like a shot at Kobe fans.
No, the
Definite
question
shot.
is the more deserving starter. Those guys definitely should be starting along
Over who?
over somebody else on that team.
Yeah.
No, but both of them have a far greater impact on their teams than their numbers say.
That's
Especially
right.
Kawhi Leonard, they're playing in San Antonio. We know that the way they move the ball around, the way that they score and defend, it's a collective effort. But so is the way they do things in Golden State. I mean, we know Steph Curry's having a fantastic season, but Draymond's impact is far greater than the numbers that he's putting up.
Draymond Green has 8 triple-doubles on the season.
Exactly.
You know, that's what, nearly 20% of the games, or a little bit over 20% of the games he's played in. I love this healthy competition between these two, though. In the end, it doesn't really matter.
No, 'cause they'll both be there,
They're
yeah.
both going to be there, and
Yeah.
we don't really look back 20 years from now and go, did he start the All-Star game, or was it, no
That's
one really
actually
cares
kind
about
of
that.
difficult to find unless you really go
Yeah.
check
So
it out.
I just love this because, we had Kawhi winning Defensive Player of the Year last year
Yeah.
by, 16 or 17 total points. Wasn't it Draymond Green got actually more
More.
first
Yeah.
place votes?
Yeah.
Kawhi was on more ballots. So, Draymond coming runner-up here. One of these guys is going to be the runner-up in this situation. But I love it because they're both fairly young, around the same age. The impact they have on their teams, instrumental. It's just great, healthy competition, playing sort of, similar positions there at the small forward and power forward with these two
Both
guys.
making their first All-Star appearance.
Yeah.
So, with all that said, what is the answer?
Yeah, who knows?
Well, the correct answer is Kawhi Leonard. Like Tassie said, there's no just deciding
Player
between them on
advantage, right.
defensively, and of course, Kawhi's had a tiny bit better season offensively, according to me, of course. Okay. Anyways, moving on to our second topic. Imagine all of the Eastern Conference's backcourt votes mysteriously disappear, and even David Blaine doesn't know where they are. Now imagine you get to pick 2 starters from Kyle Lowry, Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving, and Jimmy Butler. Which 2 of these 4 amazing guards are you choosing? What you got?
Okay. This question, to me, is a little bit easier than the last one, Kawhi or Draymond starting. I go very easily, to be honest. Kyle Lowry with the Toronto Raptors and Jimmy Butler with the Chicago Bulls. Those are the 2 of the 4 guys that I have starting.
I agree.
And then we could get into whether or not how many of them end up making it of these 4. But I think it has to be those 2. Just what they've done for the entire season from game 1, both of these guys, in terms of leading their teams. You know, Kyle Lowry, he comes in the best shape we've ever seen. We started calling him Skinny Kyle Lowry on Twitter.
Thanks,
and that caught
JJ
on.
Redick.
You know, he's putting up better numbers at the All-Star break or around the All-Star break than he did last year in a starting spot.
And he's not going to break down in the second half. He's not going to break down.
Right. You know, he's an MVP candidate. He really is. On a longer MVP candidate list, his leadership is there. And then Jimmy Butler, same thing. I mean, we see him go for 53 points for crying out loud last night against the Sixers. They needed all 53 of them, too, to pick up the win in overtime. I don't see, you know, he's got no glaring weakness, Jimmy Butler.
The only
on either
reason,
end.
only reason there's any question about him is because he did get off to a bit of a slow start by his standards last season, but he has really picked it up in the last month or 6 weeks, culminating in that 53-point effort last night. He had the win over the Raptors as well. He's just started to show as a leader what he has to do night in, night out for his team.
Larry has been a rock from game 1. I feel like a proud dad watching this guy. How he has just become the perfect version of himself. He has been so spectacular. And it's not about him playing in Toronto in front of his home crowd. He just deserves to be a starter on this team. Jimmy Butler, I totally agree with you. Hopefully Mark Wahlberg will come. They're best buds, apparently. I don't know how that happened, but they are best buds. Those 2 are the starters. I understand Dwayne Wade with the votes, with the fans.
He's going to be.
He'll get,
Yeah.
and then Kyrie Irving. He'll only have played 13 games when balloting closes on Monday.
Right.
So, sure, Kyrie, if he was there for another 7, 8, 9, 10 games, I'd be okay with it. But at some point, you kind of got to draw the line. And I'm cool with the fans voting him in because he is a spectacular player to watch, and he'll likely be there.
Well, let me ask you this hypothetical. Let's say Lowry or Butler passes Kyrie Irving. This intrigues me. Let's just say it's Wade and, for the sake of argument, Lowry that gets voted in, right? Bieber jumps on Twitter and says, vote for Kyle Lowry. Do the coaches pick Kyrie Irving as a reserve because of the missed games?
Yeah,
what do they do?
I think he misses out. I really do. Because you say he's only played 13 games, and you're going to look at someone like DeMar DeRozan, who's likely to miss out if Lowry doesn't get voted in, because that slot is probably going to go to him because Kyrie Irving will be in the starting spot. Look, I understand totally why people vote for Kyrie Irving. He is fantastic fun to watch. But I just think for this game, I just don't think his season so far has merited starting in the game over someone like DeMar, who's been playing, had a great season.
And I know none of us picked Dwayne Wade as a starter, but not to worry. I got a promise from the man himself on Twitter. Despite us not picking him, he still will tune into this show.
Okay, good to know.
Because I was having a conversation with someone else about Dwayne Wade, and I actually had him as a starter, but at this point I don't have him as a starter. He mentioned, so it's safe to say I shouldn't ask for your vote. It's cool. I'll still tune in. Thanks, Dwayne. You're the best.
And the best part is he doesn't need our votes because he's going to be starting.
Yeah,
All right,
he
so
definitely doesn't need ours.
What's the answer? What are the 2 of the 4 guys here?
To me, it's got to be Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry.
All right,
Like you guys
all
are
right.
saying the best guards in the conference played the most minutes. Pretty simple case. Anyways, moving on. Last night in Memphis, Mario Chalmers hit a stumbling, bumbling 18-footer to beat the Detroit Pistons on yet another miracle game winner. Shout out to Matt Barnes. Meanwhile, in Utah, Rudy Gay went right and pulled up from 17 feet to knock home a game winner against the Jazz. Which was the best game winner from last night? Mario Chalmers or Rudy Gay? What you got?
Easy, Mario Chalmers. He lost the ball, he bobbled it around, he fumbled, he stumbled, he picked it up, flicked it up, knocked it in.
He didn't ask you what was the luckier game.
It's Chalmers, definitely. Definitely. Look at this. Look, he's not looking to pass to anybody.
I
He's taking on
agree.
a couple of players. He gets fouled, he throws it up, knocks it in. That's the sort of thing we won't see very regularly. Rudy Gay, shout out to Rudy Gay. He's knocked down some huge game winners in his career.
That's why I go
And that was
Rudy.
just a standard one for Rudy Gay, though. This is crazy.
I feel bad for the Pistons because
yeah.
they've lost 2
doubt.
heartbreakers to the Grizzlies on Matt Barnes with a 50-footer, and then this one that, you know, not, like, just craziness happens. He flings it up there. I think Rudy Gay's is a better game winner. I really do, because it has a bit more impact. The Kings are trying to chase the Jazz, who they're playing in this game last night. They're now, 1 game back from that 8th seed with the win. And this is more of a bet. Like, this is classic Rudy Gay.
Yeah,
Isolation,
like I say, he's done that.
rise up over
Yeah.
the defense, which is decent, and knocks it in. I got to go with Rudy.
Yeah, it's also great because you can chant Rudy.
Yeah.
You know, a lot easier than Mario.
Hey, his name is Rio.
That's true. That's
You know.
true. Okay, I go Rudy. Some people here saying Chalmers. What's the answer?
I think it's an upset victory for Rudy Gay.
Yes!
Like you're saying, that's his move. Go to the right, shoot a 17-footer. Works every time. 35% of the time.
That's Mario. Oh, efficiency
I'm
jokes.
joking. You got a lot of good game winners.
All
Always
right.
going to the right.
Let's hear from you guys. Do you agree with Trey's choices on Twitter? #SayTheStars. Got to take a break. Lots more
Oh.
still to come. Yeah, we're going to award the dishonor for worst of the week, and there are a lot of nominees. Come on back. Back with the starters. Earlier in the show, we asked you what rap song should President Obama and the Pistons Drummonize next. They've been on fire. You jumped on Twitter with your answers. Trey's got a few of them.
Tim Hiley says, what about Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen turned into Born to Drum? Great answer, not a rap song. Marius Guttrumson says, rap, why not a drum and bass tune? I guess nobody listens to directions, except for this guy, who says, I love it when you call me Big Penguin. Great answer from Matthew. Got some more coming later.
All right.
Not a big fan of that nickname for Andre Drummond, the Big Penguin. Either way. All right, now it's the point where we hand out the dishonor to someone in the NBA family that has done wrong in the eyes of the starters. It's time for the worst of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst of the week.
This week's worst of the week is a five-way tie. First up, Cole Aldrich, the Los Angeles Clippers. It's team policy. If you're the last Clipper to get to the locker room, you have to dance in front of your teammates. But Cole Aldrich golfing and then making it rain may make his teammates rethink the tradition, because this is embarrassing for everyone involved, including the filmer Austin Rivers. What do you think? Yeah, what the heck was that? No idea.
Hold on. Lee loves it. Lee's like, those are cool
They're not
moves.
some bad moves, I have to say.
Next up is Andrew Bogut. Bogut probably couldn't have thrown this any harder, and Nikola Jokic probably couldn't have taken it any better. Got him sort of in the forehead cheek area. Right in the cheek, actually.
In the face.
Wow. Way to take that, Jokic. You're no Jokic. Also, a worst of the week honoree is DeMarcus Cousins. He receives a dishonor for accidentally giving Trevor Booker a concussion on a play after the whistle. It was totally inadvertent, but you can see Booker was rattled. He had to leave the game and undergo the league's concussion testing. Talk about a freak accident.
No doubt.
Get well soon, Trev. Another worst of the week recipient is the Celebrity All-Star Game Selection Committee, if there is such a thing. Yet again, the starters were not chosen for the Celebrity All-Star Game.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate. Listen, we don't know how to flip houses like the Property Brothers. But we know how to run some drills. We know how to hit threes.
Right,
We know how to have farmer's hands.
13 feet tall.
Look at this, trick shots.
Trevor Booker,
yeah.
shot of the year.
That was the no
Ralph
Booker
Sampson.
Oh.
Shout out to Ralph.
Come on, what a mistake.
But maybe we deserve worst of the week for allowing these clips on the internet. Maybe it's our fault we weren't picked.
What are you saying, Taz?
Well, it's probably my fault because of this.
Oh no!
I didn't warm up. I hadn't touched the ball in weeks.
Oh, that's way off.
A five-way tie for worst of the week.
Wow.
Well deserved,
What a
all of
week.
them.
If you don't mind, I'd like to throw in a sixth.
I don't mind.
Okay, good. A sixth worst of the week to the wedgie gods. Guys, we haven't had a wedgie since last year.
Wow.
When is this footage from? 1940?
Exactly, Tass. December 26, 2015. We haven't had one.
Who disrespected the wedgie god?
If you were born in the year 2016, you don't even know what a wedgie is.
Yeah.
Maybe a diaper wedgie.
We've been
perhaps.
stuck on 19 forever, and I have a lot of people on Twitter, I've been pointing this out, suggesting that I sacrifice myself, or my underwear at least, again to Shaquille O'Neal.
You might have to.
You know, because we thought
sounds odd.
doing like a human wedgie sacrifice would give us basketball wedgies. But I'm not doing it again, A, because I haven't fully recovered.
No.
And B, it didn't really work last time. True. We didn't get a whole lot more wedgies after he destroyed my awesome Calvin Kleins.
Yeah, he didn't buy you a pair of underwear either.
He just enjoyed it. So we're not doing that again, but you know, worst of the week to the wedgie gods, if such a thing
stuck.
exists. I know. We gotta get a wedgie here soon. All right, we gotta take a break. When we come back, we're gonna count down the top 10 plays of the week. Always a blast. So come on back, you're watching the starters. Back with the starters on a Friday, we asked you what rap song should Obama and the Pistons Drummonize next. You took to Twitter. The tweets kept on coming. Trey, you got a few more for us.
Yeah, Ashant Gill says, "We Dem Boys" by Wiz Khalifa. Holla, holla, he get them boys.
Yep,
I like
nice.
that
That
answer.
works.
King Yeti says, "Drum, drum, ma, drum, ma, everybody!" Vote. To the tune of shots. Very good. And a weird one comes from Shane Rumack, who says, "The song from Dreamgirls," and I'm telling you, no pun here, just think it'd be funny to see if it can be done. Asked around, nobody here has any idea about Dreamgirls, but sounds funny.
Oh, Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx, Jennifer
Danny
Hudson.
Glover,
Yeah.
singing.
Yeah, great cast. Great
Yeah, maybe won some Academy Awards.
Keep the tweets coming. Obama, the Pistons, what are they drummonizing next? All right, let's get to the top 10 plays. Take a look at these top 10 plays. They made us celebrate, and it's presented by Ciroc. Delicious. At number 10, Dwayne Wade with the spin and the slam
Oh, Dwayne.
against the Suns. I mean, he's looking like rookie
That's
Wade.
young Dwayne
That
there,
is
yes.
rookie
Oh,
Wade
beautiful.
right there.
2 weeks in a row, Dwayne's been up for a big dunk. Top 10 plays.
Fountain of youth. He has
Yeah.
strength from him.
At number 9, Jan Mahimi gets Clint Capella. Very nice.
That's huge.
Clint, welcome to your Kodak moment.
At number 8, the Claw is our master.
We got live, baby.
Kawhi Leonard
This looks easy,
on
but it's not.
Thursday night TNT game.
Easy.
Yeah, look at this.
I don't know, Lee.
Left hand. Oh yeah, Lee, you can do that. I've seen you do that with your right hand. I mean, boring.
Cavs watched him do that last night.
Watch this putback. Kristaps going to the other side of the rim. That's gorgeous. This is a great angle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see that very often at all.
Back-to-back putbacks here.
Keep them coming.
No, we're going to blocks. At number 6, what's the frequency? Kenneth Fareed, yeah, denies Harrison Barnes here. This is awesome block. I mean,
Yeah.
Barnes actually is like, oh, I'm gonna get blocked with my right hand, so I go to my left. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Here on the starters, we give you more for your free dollar. 2 plays at number 5, 2 passes from Steph. Yeah, Draymond doesn't finish it, but look, twice around the back. Oh, wow. Amazing.
Well, he was fouled.
And we're not going to finish it with a play that's not finished. So look at this.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Just like, whatever. Here,
Yeah.
dunk it.
Yeah,
That is
whatever.
chemistry, baby.
he just chucks it. At number 4, Aaron Gordon. He's going old school here with the reverse
Dominique.
double clutch, looking like, I don't know, looking like Harold Miner Dominique. Yeah. I guess it was Harold Miner, 93 dunk contest.
That's right,
doing that.
yeah.
Powerful.
That is beautiful.
We're cheating so hard. We got 3 LeBron dunks at number 3. We're going lefty. That's his dominant hand, right? The beautiful windmill.
He uses a fork in his left hand.
And he's raising the roof.
Yeah.
The second one, he doesn't carry a purse, but he'll rock a clutch, a double clutch. Very nice.
Russell Westbrook carries the first.
Excuse me?
I don't know. I think he likes fashion.
Down to 20 seconds left. This is how he tied the game against the Mavs. Right over Devin Harris, a 2-hander to tie the game. That was gorgeous. He wanted the foul, and he deserved it.
At number 2, DeMar DeRozan gonna dunk on the Sixers. Oh! Just cocks it back and puts Jahlil Okafor on the poster.
That is
That's
nice.
some stench.
Oh,
Our
my
main
God.
man, Matt Devlin, saying Okafor wanted no part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Mario Chalmers
What?
with a turnover at number 1.
What a turnover!
He wins the game! He wins the game!
He didn't win what you got, but he wins the top 10 plays.
Oh,
of
I
the week.
wish he was on the Heat with LeBron still, so LeBron could yell at him for like 1 second and then.
Probably
Nice
would. Yeah.
celebration, too, from Rio.
Yeah, pretty good. Crazy play. Poor Pistons lose again to the Grizzlies on a wild one. Agree or disagree? As always, let us know on Twitter, #TheStars. We got one more sort of strange but spectacular play. It happened earlier today in our horse shoot-around. Lee Ellis, off camera, shoots the jumper, and we get an ultimate toilet bowl shot.
That's the backspin I put on it, I think.
It's pretty incredible. It stops twice and somehow drops.
Looks like a video game glitch.
Yeah.
I guess it's just that shooter stuff.
Some people say you always yell swish bomb
Yeah.
in very solid plays. That is a flush bomb.
That's a dunny ball.
Dunny.
All right, when we come back, Lee's very solid play tonight. You're watching the starters. Back with the starters, a look at last night's pick and play. We all had the Spurs, and in the end, we all came out on top. That was a great game between the Cavs and the Spurs, as we sort of expected. Tonight's pick, We're going with the Hornets-Pelicans game. 3 of us, myself, Tass, and Lee, will take the Pelicans at home. Trey, the only one who is dominating this month with a 7-1 record, he's taking the Hornets, so.
Killing Lee by a whole game.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
going to
7-1.
New Orleans
I
for
get it.
fan night. Got to pick the Pellies.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. All right, Lily, where are we going to see your 2 hairy thumbs?
We're going to Philadelphia. First off, shout out to the Chicago Bulls who tweeted me a very solid play last night. It wasn't this one. It was a beauty. This one is actually a beauty from Joakim Noah as well. Look at this pass from Joe. Threads the needle through to Jimmy Butts. He lays it up.
Nice.
That goes in. That's what I call a very solid play.
Did he hit the free throw, though?
You have to check the tape.
Translation for, I have no idea. All right, we got some more fan signs.
Yes, we do. Now, this is easily the weirdest sign we've ever had. It's Marco out in Oakland. It says most valuable beard, and he's got Trey Kirby there. And then he's got all of the rest of us making up Trey's beard. They love you out in Oakland.
That's
Trey.
amazing.
Who's making up the mustache? Is that Lee?
That's me.
That's Lee the mustache, and Skeets, you're the gray patch on my face. So congratulations to you.
That is amazing.
Well done, Marco. The next one comes from Carson Frost in
Whoa.
Denver. Look at the detail on this. He's got dude wipes on there. He's got real training camp on there.
That looks like a
confidence,
Basquiat.
baby. He's got everything. Great job,
He
Carson.
saw a great game, too.
Next one comes from Renee Yum WWE. No, Renee Yum, that is. In Charlotte.
That's a WWE joke.
Yeah.
That no one got.
With her,
Shout out to Renee Young.
boyfriend,
out, Renee.
partner, whoever that is. And then Tyler Lark, also at the Roracle last night he was for Kobe's last game. Really good job there. Lots of color, great stuff. Keep them coming. They'll all be on Facebook.
Yeah, keep those signs coming. Great stuff. All right, earlier today, guys, we recorded the Drop podcast. We talked a little bit more about the third returns on the All-Star game, but we dove a little deeper on the Bulls and whether they should consider trading Joakim Noah. We discussed the Ryan Anderson for Rudy Gay trade rumors that have been floating around. And we picked, this was fun, we picked our biggest All-Star game snubs in NBA history. Yes, Lee Ellis talked a little bit about Sam Perkins, so check that out. That's it for us this week. We are back on Tuesday with the television show, but Monday marks our 10-year anniversary of podcasting. Check iTunes, the website, Google Play. We got a very special podcast up there on Monday, and we'll have fun all week.
We definitely will. Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, this is a weird one. Britney's Pickle Spears is a nice business name. Might be name infringement, but it's a great business name.
Race the night, people.